Hi everyone, Jed Brown here, founder of Low Season Traveller, and welcome to this second episode of Low Season Traveller Insider Guides. For this episode, we're going to look at one of the UK and Ireland's fastest growing cities, Belfast. With a reputation for the friendliest locals and the best crack in the world, Belfast is home to the iconic Titanic Museum and is incredibly well connected from all airports in the UK throughout the year. To help us learn more about what Belfast offers travellers in the low season, earlier this week I caught up with a good friend of mine, Deb Collins, who's the conferencing sales manager for Visit Belfast. Here she shares with us her tips, tricks and recommendations to help you get the most out of your low season trip to Belfast. Hope you enjoy it. So Debs, and Belfast has changed a lot in the last 10 to 15 years. And I was thinking about it recently. I know that currently you have 6 quarters in Belfast, and I'm not sure you had 6 quarters 10 years ago, or indeed the Titanic Museum. Tell us about the changes that you've seen in Belfast and give us a little bit of an overview as to what Belfast offers visitors today that perhaps it didn't in years gone by.
So I suppose there's been huge investment in Belfast, over the last number of years. Over £1 billion has been spent. So we have new hotels, new tourism product, improved access. I suppose there's been concerted marketing efforts as well, high profile events as well that help to, raise the profile, such as we've got the Golf Open coming this year in July.
Oh, good.
The Game of Thrones touring exhibition is coming from April to September this year as well, which is huge. There's new tours, bars, restaurants, coffee shops. I suppose it's really just come alive as a tourism destination. And, I would say these changes, they're even felt within the last 1 to 2 years, not even in the last 10 to 15 years. And we actually have 8 key areas now, not 6. So we don't really call them quarters anymore.
Okay, sorry about that.
We've got Cathedral Quarter, Linen Quarter, Titanic Quarter, Queen's Quarter, Gaeltacht Quarter. Then we have the East Side, the Shankill and the City Centre. So there's actually 8 key areas to visit. But as I say, Titanic Belfast opened in 2012. It was really I don't like the word game changer, but it was a game changer for Belfast. It was that kind of tipping point where there was this real reason to come to Belfast for this incredible attraction. Not only is it visually stunning and everybody wants to get their photograph taken outside it, but the interactive galleries inside are fabulous. You could spend all day there. And then in 2016, it was voted the world's leading tourist attraction. Such a coup for us. I suppose as well, Belfast acts as the gateway to Northern Ireland. So, it's a stunning place to visit. You've got the lakes of Fermanagh to the mountains of Mourne, the North Coast and the UNESCO heritage site, which is the Giant's Causeway. And the stunning beauty of Strangford Lough and the Ards Peninsula, which is where I'm from. So,
very good.
Yeah, but there's so much, and Belfast really acts as that gateway. I suppose we're a safe and a welcoming place to visit. It's a vibrant city now. There's a real buzz about the place. So there's something on offer from for everyone, for families, weekend breakers, people that want a bit of adventure, people who want some peace and quiet. They want to go off and do the spa thing, and for business travellers as well. So there's just a huge amount on offer, and that growth it's been wonderful to see and to witness over the last number of years. We've had a bit of a food revolution here as well over the last number of years. So we have a massive amount of local entrepreneurs, artisan producers, craft beers, potato vodka, locally made gin and whiskey. There's a whole story around that, the food. And I think that's a real draw for international visitors. The access into Belfast is better now as well. So we've obviously got the 2 airports, and we've got fantastic transport options. So it's easy to get, once you fly into Belfast or you come into the ports on the boat, it's really easy to get into the city centre. And once you're there, it's really compact and walkable. So everything's within, max 20 minutes from the city centre to one of those 8 areas. It's really easy to get to. We've really good shopping. Value for money is definitely there, and especially now with the pound and the euro. So for any European visitors coming from the south of Ireland, there's excellent value for money. And our choice of hotels is unparalleled. So we've had a massive investment in hotel products. So whether it's brand hotel, boutique hotel, there's something for everyone. And next year we have the George Best Hotel coming on stream, for example.
Oh, wow.
So which is one of Signature Living's products. So we're excited to see that open as well. I mean, from a, I suppose, talking a little bit about the peace process, etc. We've arguably one of the most successful peace processes in history, and people are really interested in learning about us and our past and where we're at now and how that's all maintained. And I suppose there's now a massive tourism product really built around that history. It's about the stories, the people, and that really pulls people back, I think, as well. So they come and they learn, and then they want to come back and see where we're at a number of years later. So that kind of legacy story and the peace story is very compelling. So we're now 20 years on from the Good Friday Agreement. And, whether you want to come in and see the Cromna Road Jail, which is our Victorian prison that has, fantastic history. They housed suffragettes in there right up to kind of political prisoners in the 60s and 70s. A number of hangings there. It's all macabre, but very interesting. If you want to sign your name on the peace wall, like Bill Clinton or Rihanna, do political taxi tours. There's every amount of product has been built around that for people to, enjoy, but also appreciate, where we've come from. And I think that's really nice too. From an arts and culture point of view, there's so much to do. The MAC, the Metropolitan Arts Centre, is located in our vibrant Cathedral Quarter. You have the Ulster Museum, which is free. At the moment we have Dippy the dinosaur there. And, in terms of coming from an off-season point of view, we have really brilliant, cool festivals that happen in the off seasons as well. So for example, in January, we've got Out to Lunch Festival, which is happening from the 4th to the 27th of Jan. And that kind of serves up a mix of live music, comedy, theatre, literature. It's an absolute reason to come here and take in, something eclectic, something different. And in February, we have the Northern Ireland Science Festival. So during the day, it offers workshops, talks, interactive activities. And in the evening, it's scientific debate, theatre, comedy and music for adults. So a little bit of something for everyone. In terms of, so all the things that have changed, obviously we've come on massively over the last number of years, but what hasn't changed, I would say, would be the people. So, we're still the same friendly locals that are really proud of our city, and we're really ready to welcome the world. And actually a couple of years ago, we were voted the happiest people according to Instagram. So, yeah. And yeah, I just think it's a fabulous, it's a bit of an undiscovered gem still. But anyone who comes is always supremely, impressed by what they see and feel, and they always come away with a warm, fuzzy feeling, I think, from Belfast.
And do you find that a lot of people, once they've been to Belfast for the first time, maybe, do you get a lot of repeat business? Do people then want to come back and actually see more, maybe go beyond just Belfast and go further around Northern Ireland?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we actually have a huge part of our business now is business tourism. So conferences and events. So delegates will come in maybe for a 2-3 day conference happening in the city, and then they'll maybe experience a little bit of Belfast on the social programs. So whether it's like drinks receptions or gala dinners, they'll maybe, get a feel for Belfast, maybe spend an extra day. And what they'll do is then they'll go back home and go, guys, that was amazing. I want to bring my family back, my partner, and then they'll come back as a repeat leisure visitor. So, and that's exactly what we want. And we get people that come here, throughout the year. They'll come back because whether they're visiting friends or relatives, or they have a real reason to come, whether they're Game of Thrones fans and they want to now visit all our opened up locations because the filming has just finished. So we've got the official debut of the touring exhibition is happening in the Titanic Exhibition Centre from April 2019 right through to September. But if you're a fan, even if you're not, coming in to experience that, everything's going to be, it's the throne, it's the costumes, the props, all the kind of visual stuff will be there. And then in terms of getting outside of Belfast, you can hop on a bus tour and go and visit the locations for the series. And I mean, that's HBO's #1 hit TV series. So it was really a brilliant accolade for Belfast to have that. And screen tourism is massive now. So it's not just Game of Thrones. We have Krypton that was filmed here, Frankenstein Chronicles, Mrs. Wilson. So there's loads going on in that. And if you have any kind of an interest in the creative industries, there's because we have the Titanic Studios down in Titanic Quarter. So that's where it all is going on.
Very good. I still haven't seen Game of Thrones yet. I'm embarrassed to say.
Deb.
But
No.
I know it's a big thing.
It's so good. It's so good. And I mean, the cool thing about Belfast was whenever the cast and the crew were in, those guys were here moving freely through the crowds. They were eating in our restaurants. They were having, pints in the bars, and they were relatively left alone because, we welcome that, and we don't want to mess it up. So I think people just let them, be themselves, and some of the cast were in my yoga classes, and there, with Maisie Williams in your yoga class, and it was really just brilliant to see, and I think it was such a boost for our tourism and for our economy. So I think, yeah.
Very good. And in terms of, obviously we're sort of talking about, over recent years with, Titanic coming online in 2012 and Game of Thrones and the peace process as well. So we're seeing a growth in visitors coming to Belfast. Mm-hmm. Can we in any way sort of quantify that? What kind of numbers is it? I think the fear that a lot of our audience has is that sometimes destinations, when they get too much tourism, there's that fear, I guess, of over tourism. Now, I guess Belfast isn't there yet. Is it a good way off? Is it being really well managed from your side?
Yeah, I mean, I would say definitely. We're aware of over tourism. It's a big, we're the official marketing agency for the city, so we attend the events. We understand other cities are having those issues. I would say we're not in that position yet, which is good, but we're always monitoring. We do look at the figures. We do, and we have the ability as well as a small organisation, with the help of all our funders and stakeholders and so on, to direct and channel our marketing appropriately. So, us is the gateway, but if, there's certain attractions that are maybe beginning to not be able to cope with numbers, we can push, we can direct those visitors to, other undiscovered gems, because the product around Northern Ireland is fabulous. Yeah. The likes of Seamus Heaney Home Place in Balachi, probably somewhere you may not have heard of, but one of Ireland's most successful writers, and you can go and visit that place, learn about him and his history. There's loads of product out there that probably is just slightly more undiscovered, that we will want to make that come alive for people, to safeguard from over tourism. For example, the Giant's Causeway annually welcomes over 1 million visitors, from about 160 countries. So, coming off season is the perfect way to enjoy an attraction like that. It's a UNESCO heritage site. And you have it to yourself when you go off season, and maybe avoiding some of the, the busier times. So I would say, in terms of safeguarding, we have a really joined up approach in Belfast. So we're quite small. Well, we are a small city. So, Tourist Board, Council, local businesses, stakeholders, we like to ensure we're ahead of any potential issues that might arise. And we do monitor those numbers. Thankfully, it's a good news story. We are growing, very much every year. To give you, we don't have the official figures yet for 2018, but we know it was a bumper year. Just to give you an idea, we had about 7.5 million air passengers that passed through, both our Belfast airports last year. So, it's growing, and I think, last year was phenomenal in terms of accolades for Belfast and Northern Ireland. So we were crowned the Lonely Planet's best region to visit in 2018, and the National Geographic called us, we were hailed the rising star. So I think those kind of accolades really help to maybe cement some people's, decisions in terms of where they were traveling, and obviously the access helps as well. So we've got some great low-cost carriers that make it really accessible for people to get here cheaply.
Yep. Absolutely. I mean, I was looking there before on Kiwi.com and a few of the others, and you still, for the next 2-3 months, you can still get flights to Belfast for £20 return.
There you go. I know.
Incredible. But for me, my first thought is, okay, if I'm only spending £20 on the flights, I can spend more in the destination. I can actually stay in the Merchant Hotel or the nicer hotel and have more money to spend, because I'm not spending the earth on the flights.
Of course, no, absolutely. And I mean, I think that, in terms of access and coming in, our airport seasonality, if you like, is actually quite flat. So there isn't a huge reduction in flights during that low season. So you can still come in, from, we service 23 UK airports and every single London airport. So Stansted, Heathrow, City, Luton, Gatwick, and we've all across a range of carriers. So, you find those flights, you come in, yeah, absolutely. And, for UK visitors as well, it's the pound or the pound. It's no need to change money or anything. It's a lovely, I think sometimes for us, the lure, the attraction of getting on a plane for somebody based on, the mainland. It's that little bit of adventure rather than maybe just getting on a train, which I hear is becoming more and more expensive.
Absolutely. I believe there's not many places I can go on a train in the UK for £20.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it's a complete experience. You do feel like you're getting absolutely away from it. And yeah.
Now, in terms of, so obviously, you're from the region yourself. What are the top tips that you would have that maybe some of our audience wouldn't be aware of? So if they were considering coming during the low season, in January, February, the next few weeks, what would be your kind of top tips that you would recommend when they come to Belfast?
So, I mean, my goodness, there's any amount of things to do when you come here. I have a list as long as your arm, but some kind of key things that you wouldn't want to miss would be Titanic Belfast. Yep. And its little sister, SS Nomadic. So, down in the Titanic quarter, it's absolutely fabulous. You can get on the wee tram, which takes you on a tour of the whole Titanic quarter. And within that, you'd be able to take in the likes of HMS Caroline, which is our last remaining ship from the Battle of Jutland. Fabulous tour. You also, so you're beneath the cranes, so Harland and Wolff cranes there. But that whole area, it's really vibrant and up and coming. So you've got new coffee shops and restaurants and so on coming up there. But Titanic is a must see. You definitely want to experience that, and you could take in, it could take hours to enjoy. And I say Nomadic was actually she was the tender ship to Titanic, so she was rescued and brought back and renovated back into Belfast. And it's a fabulous piece of living legacy and history from that era. She's the last remaining White Star Line ship in the world. So, we're not going to see that anywhere else but Belfast. The slipways that, when you go into Titanic Belfast, you're aware of these wonderful slipways where the two, were Olympic and Britannic and Titanic, set sail from. It's a very unique experience. Again, you're only going to get that in Belfast, and the views and so on from there. Other top things to do. The Crumlin Road Jail is fantastic. So again, it's our Victorian prison. Now, it's used for filming and so on, but they do brilliant tours. They also do paranormal tours down there. Yeah, and it's superb in North Belfast, really, really good. It's for something a bit different, a bit unique. St George's Market is a must as well. So, if you want to, meet the locals, soak up the Belfast atmosphere upon a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you have everything from fresh fish to arts and crafts there. And, it's a brilliant space. It's really unique. Victorian market, and I think it was voted a few years back. It was voted the best indoor market in the UK. So quite luckily for our little market in Belfast. But other things, Ulster Museum and Botanic Gardens. So the Ulster Museum is located in the Queen's Quarter. Fabulous. It's free as well. So it's a wonderful place to go. Maybe if it was a light dash of rain, on a January day, you might want to nip in there. They've just everything, really fabulous exhibitions. They have a mummy in there as well, which is really interesting. So, and Botanic Gardens is located right beside it. So, taking a walk around there, they've got a rose garden and a tropical palm house as well. That's, it's stunning, a really, really nice view. And you get to kind of take in Queen's University from there as well. So that's our Russell Group University. It's stunning, just located in that area. So, other things, an open top bus tour or a taxi tour is probably a must to get your bearings. First thing you do when you come in, you want to kind of get a feel for it. So they're all hop on, hop off. So you can grab a ticket, do the full tour and then decide where you want to focus on. as part of that tour, you'll be taken to East Belfast. So there's a real resurgence in our tourism in that area. So you've got the East Side Visitor Centre, and they've this wonderful square where they've got all the so C.S. Lewis was born in Belfast. Not many people know that. He wrote Chronicles of Narnia, among other things. So you've got wonderful statues to the likes of Aslan and so on from the book and the novel. So go there, grab a coffee, have a peruse down the shops, eating some of the brilliant restaurants in East Belfast. And East Belfast is home to Van Morrison as well. So there's that whole music legacy that can be tapped into from there. That's a really brilliant, vibrant area. Coming back into the city centre then, Belfast Cathedral is another really brilliant option. So again, located in that kind of trendy cathedral quarter now, which is full of bars and shops and so on. But there is this wonderful, cathedral there, which you can go in and take a tour, an audio tour around. It's really stunning. Belfast City Hall also is worth a mention because they have now a free visitor exhibition on the story of Belfast. Definitely worth calling in when you're in the city, and it's located right in the city centre. City Hall itself is a beautiful building, and they do tours of the City Hall as well, but you can head off to the exhibition, kind of self-guide around there. If you want maybe a little bit of, just outside Belfast, you've got Cave Hill and Belfast Castle, so heading up towards the north of the city. You can do some beautiful walks around there, and that gives you some really stunning views over Belfast. Very Instagram worthy. You get it on an early morning or a nice kind of evening. So, and Belfast Castle is stunning as well. It's got, there's real heritage and history around that whole area that's worth a look in. So what I was going to mention was, if visitors are coming into Belfast, Visit Belfast operate the 2 visitor information pods at both airports, so City Airport and International Airport. So we've got staff working there all the time. They're really helpful. They know everything. We can also give out our little city guides, so that includes a map and kind of top things to do and any festivals that are running at the time. And also then obviously when you get into the city centre, we manage and operate the Tourist Information Centre, which is located right across from City Hall. So, we've got really helpful staff in there. They speak multiple languages, and they would be delighted to help plan and help with people's stay in terms of, what they might want to do. We also have, it's all Wi-Fi, so you can come in, literally peruse. We've got all local gifts in the shop as well, but all touchscreen technology. So if you maybe don't want to talk to someone, you want maybe just follow the technology, you can do that as well. You can send it to your phone. So it's a really nice visitor information centre in terms of planning, what you want to do when you come into the city. And
one other place that last time I was there, I went to Stormont.
Yeah, absolutely.
That absolutely blew me away. Because obviously I'd seen pictures of it on the TV and everything before, but the driveway up to that place is absolutely something else.
It's incredible. I know. And actually, if you take that hop on, hop off bus, Stormont, that's out again to the east of the city. So you'll get, you get a feel for that area, but there's it's within a parkland, which is incredible. They've got an outdoor gym, they've got walking trails, they have ferry trails for kids. So it's definitely worth a trip up. And not many people know they can get into Stormont and actually do tours, but it's an incredible building set in an incredible location. Yeah. And as you say, that that mile-long
driveway all the way
is really impressive. You've many dog walkers around that park as well. It's just a lovely place to go and chill out. Very kind of, I feel like as well, very C.S. Lewis-esque, because you've got all these lamp posts everywhere, really kind of old-fashioned lamp posts. Yeah. And it's quite mythical.
Very, very good. I absolutely loved it. So for anybody out there then listening that's seriously thinking now, okay, I'm sold, I fancy going to Belfast for a weekend or for a couple of days over the next couple of months. Are there any offers out there at the moment that people should be aware of?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are primed and ready to welcome people in January. Our website, which is www.visitbelfast.com, nice and easy, has basically the first page you land on at the moment will give you a host of offers for low season. So there are a number that I'll just touch on, but if you go to the website, they're all there in their glory. So for example, you can stay at the Bullet Hotel, which is the hotel inspired by Steve McQueen's film, Very funky, located kind of in that Cathedral Quarter area. So there's a Beat the Winter Blues offer. So you can stay in the hotel from £85 per night, and fantastic, comfortable king-size beds, rain shower, super fast Wi-Fi, and then like a breakfast bag to go in the morning. Also, we have Winter Escape with a bottle of wine in the Clayton Hotel from £110. So that includes a full Irish breakfast, a bottle of Sauvignon in your room on arrival. That is actually a Belfast hotel that has a brilliant pool and sauna and gym and jacuzzi and so on. And again, complimentary Wi-Fi throughout. So it's a brilliant 4-star hotel in the city centre. Another one I'll just mention really quickly would be the Ramada Encore. So you can do a 2-night city break stay at Ramada Encore from £89. And that is 2 nights accommodation, including full cooked breakfast and dinner in the SQ bar. And that little hotel is located right in that Cathedral Quarter as well.
Sorry, is that £89 for 2 nights?
No, so 178 for the 2 nights, but it's £89 per night then, but that includes a dinner and a breakfast as well. So there are some brilliant offers to be had in low season, and that's, that kind of January, February time is an ideal time to come because, we are that little bit less busy, so people have more time to talk to you, to spend with you, especially the locals, and we love to see visitors come, and it's another joy, and very friendly people that will be happy to help point you in the right direction in the street or help you if you're lost.
Very good. So look, finally, on the subject of meeting locals, where are the best kind of bars to meet the locals when people are over there? Where do you guys hang out?
There's too many to mention. So, look, if you want to meet locals, definitely the pub. Like the bars are the place where you will meet the characters, and the St. George's Market for sure. There's some characters there, but some kind of, I suppose, must visit bars for me would be the Duke of York, the Harp Bar, the Dirty Onion. We love our quirky names. The Spaniard, Muriel's, brilliant gin bar, Babel, which is a rooftop, Ireland's largest rooftop bar. We have Kelly's Cellars, so that's located right beside a brilliant institution, which is more in seafood. So you can get your brilliant seafood and then go next door for a pint of the black stuff. Hughes, again, a really, really old pub it's about 3 levels. It's definitely worth a visit. White's Tavern. Henry's at the Jailhouse, that's a new one that's just been done up in an old quarter. And the Garrick as well is another really, really good recommendation. So, look, there's any amount. We have more bars, I think, than we know what to do with here in Belfast. I don't know if you want any coffee spots or any restaurant recommendations, but
absolutely.
Look, I think I kind of touched on it earlier, but we have, I'm regularly surprised by the amount of new openings that we have, especially in that kind of restaurant and coffee spot sphere. Some of my personal favorites, not in any particular order, but Yugo is Asian fusion, absolutely fantastic. Taking my husband there for his birthday at the end of January. Home Restaurant. So Nigella Lawson's a big fan of their sprout salad. Home Restaurant located right in city centre. Bubba, so that's one of our new Eastern Mediterranean inspired restaurants in Cathedral Quarter. Hard Street, James Street, which is again another institution. So Niall McKenna and his wife run James Street, and definitely worth a look in whenever you're over. Another one out in East Belfast that we kind of talked about, definitely worth the trip over, is Ale Parada. So it's all local ingredients, but Italian style kind of so sharing plates. Dean's Restaurant, another must visit. Michael Dean has a portfolio of restaurants around the city, so any one of them would be excellent. Hadskey's is another really good one. So it's an old pot and pan warehouse in Cathedral Quarter that's been turned into fabulous restaurant. My personal recommendation is sit up at the bar, chat to the cocktail makers, have the T-bone for 2 and you with béarnaise sauce, and you will thank me later. Mother's Club is incredible as well, so a little hidden gem off a side street. Just go, it's incredible. Ox is one of our Michelin star restaurants. So again, if you want fine dining at not a crazy price, Ox, and then it's Ox Cave is the wine bar located beside. So for something really special, it's all locally seasonal inspired food, just fabulous. They'll take care of you as if you're one of their family in there. And Shoe is another excellent institution, just located on the Lisburn Road. So there are a few restaurant recommendations. I could go on forever, but in terms of coffee, because I know obviously coffee is a big driver now, everyone loves a good coffee. I would, there's coffee shops and donut shops popping up all over Belfast. Some of my personal favourites, Established, which is one of the original really good coffee places in Belfast. Seek them out, and they do wonderful brunch as well. If you're an eggs and avo kind of person, they do this incredible pie on a Sunday as well, and check them out on Instagram. So Root and Branch, wonderful. Another recommendation, they have two spots within Belfast and their roastery as well. Cafe O is a local girl who was she was a solicitor turned coffee shop owner. Absolutely brilliant. They have a little pod located beside Visit Belfast where you can go and get your coffee to go. And they have another couple of outlets around Belfast, definitely there. Oh Donuts is brilliant. If you love a donut and a coffee, give them a go. Another brilliant brunch spot would be General Merchants. Don't miss the Pocket as well in Cathedral Quarter. Bright yellow door, brilliant food and coffee. And my latest find is a garden cafe called Panama Belfast. And I just had lunch there for the first time this week, and it was incredible. So there are literally new places opening up on a regular basis, and they're all really good. So there's just some suggestions.
I think we need more than a 2 or a 3 day break in Belfast to experience all of that, or we need to have 2 or 3 different mini breaks.
Absolutely.
And that's a wrap. Huge thanks to Deb for sharing her insights with us, and I'll put links to all Deb's recommendations in the description and on the lowseasontraveller.com website too. As always, if you've got any feedback for us, or if there's any destination which you'd like to see featured in this series, please do email us at lowseasontraveller@gmail.com. And if you enjoyed the podcast, please don't forget to share it with your friends and social networks. Look out for the next episode on iTunes or Spotify, or even better, subscribe and receive it automatically. It's free for everyone, as we believe that travel is better without the crowds.